That took a lot of mitochondria, so we're going to give a shout out to that 48-year-old egg and its mitochondria. Hi, thanks for clicking on Simply Tanika. I am Tanika. If you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Let's hang out a while. If you are returning, welcome back. What's up, fertility fam? We gotta do what? Let's get those babies, ladies. Drops fall and the beauty of it all. What's up, fertility fam? All right, I made it home. I am coming to you one more time, even though I am going to my weekend place. My bag is packed. I'm about to run out of the door. But I was thinking about the phone call with Dr. O, and I think we got to take a moment to acknowledge what really happened with that little egg. Because it did start off as a germinal vesicle, a GV, and then it had to go metaphase 1, metaphase 2. That took a lot of mitochondria, so we're going to give a shout out to that 48-year-old egg and its mitochondria. So I wanted to quickly, in case this is your first time here, or in case you haven't seen any of my supplement videos, talk about these. I did, by the time you guys see this, I will have posted my most recent supplement video by brand, because you guys wanted to know what brands I was using. Really quick, ubiquinol. This is a form of CoQ10. There are two forms. One is ubiquinone, one is ubiquinol. If it does not say ubiquinol on it, it just says CoQ10, more than likely you only have ubiquinone. It'll say Kaneka or Kanika, which is a place in Japan that it comes from. That's where the ubiquinol, the only place that the ubiquinol is manufactured. So you want to look out for that. But I was taking 300 milligrams. I think after talking to the doctor, I'm going to do 600 because I want to give kudos to the egg because the mitochondria. So obviously the egg is all on its own at that point. There is no sperm yet when it was during the maturation. So that was all of my own mitochondria. It takes up a lot of energy, right? And maybe the egg would have gotten further if it had already come out mature and that mitochondria didn't have to churn to maturation. But it got to 8 cells just fine, and then it cleaved, and so it was moving along even though there was some fragmentation. So that's all mitochondria, that's the energy. And typically in a normal scenario, like the sperm would have very little mitochondria by the time it reached the egg because it's traveling, it's going a long, long way, like the length of a football field, the equivalent of a football field, to get to the egg. In this case, we know they did it in a lab and we did ICSI, so they took that one little sperm and put it in that one little egg. It didn't have to go anywhere, it got to kick it. So it did have some mitochondria left. In that case though, scientists say it usually takes about 4 days before the sperm's mitochondria is all gone, and then it's all mommy's mitochondria that's making it split. So I think that we were in a good place as far as keeping on, positive what went well and what we can kind of leverage to the next level. I think, like I said earlier, part of it is the meds. The meds were too high for that one little egg. If I had, 20 eggs, maybe those meds would make sense. But we're going to keep an eye on it. And I love that he was like, listen, Tanika, it's flexible, basically, is what he said. Horrible accident. Sorry, Dr. O. But
let's say in Tanika, we can change this any moment. When you come here after the no, hold on.
Ovulation. So today's cycle day 1. So I'm gonna come in for day 21 blood testing.
Yeah. I actually the proposal for this cycle is 250 plus 150.
So 250 gonal F and 150 menopure.
Correct.
Okay, and you're saying menopure is half FSH and half LH anyway.
Right. So that's so in reality you are taking around 400 units of FSH.
Okay.
That's plenty. But also, when you come after the S trace and we do the basal before we start, we can readjust it, because let's say we see only one little tiny follicle, we don't want to use too much of a dose. Let's say we see 2 or 3 antral follicles. Maybe we change this. Basically, we'll keep an eye on it and we can go down. I should have said something last cycle when we were going up to 300 and there was only 1. I was concerned about it, but I didn't voice it. So bad on me. Mea culpa. Next time, we're going to be a little more lockstep. The other thing that we talked about on the call, in case you are new to trying to conceive or IVF or advanced maternal age, DHEA
These are all natural, the ones that I'm taking, non-GMO, yada yada, that's what I mean by all natural. And they are third-party verified. So tests have been run to confirm that each capsule is 25 milligrams as it says on the bottle. In America, the supplements are not regulated in the same way that prescription medication is regulated. And so you have to be careful with, you know, if it's the right potency. They've done random tests where it said it had X amount of ingredients in it and it actually had none of that or very little of that. So typically the cheaper the supplements, unfortunately, the more likely that is to happen. But I'm saying typically that's not a fast and hard rule. Look for the third-party testing if you're taking supplements. So DHEA, you want it to be micronized. It's more readily absorbable by the body. Like I just imagine like little micros. It's like broken up more. They're really lovely little tiny pills. Take 3 a day, 75 milligrams. Check with your healthcare provider. You want to get your blood tested, and it's a simple blood test, and you can just have your DHEA level checked. I have a whole video about that. My very first CoQ10 DHEA video. I'll link it down below. And then this weekend, I should have edited, that's the plan. Let's just claim it. If you go back and look at yesterday's video or the day before the last video before this one, it talks about all of the current supplements that I was taking and that I will be taking. So ubiquinol, DHEA, these should be in your toolkit if you have diminished ovarian reserve and or concerns about your egg quality. Ubiquinol is for the quality. DHEA is more for quantity to help you increase it. I know there's a lot of talk about people trying to increase their ovarian reserve. I have not seen any clinical studies that actually works. Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are libraries filled with things I haven't seen, okay? So if you find some studies that you can increase it, my main focus is on quality. I don't need to, as far as I'm concerned, increase my reserve. I don't need to increase my AMH. None of that's going to impact where I am right now in my journey. What I need is my antral follicle count to increase, or AFC. So, or just to get the most out of them. So my follicle count is 6. It's gone down. It was 7 last year when I did IVF. It's 6 at this point. When I first started, it was 5 before I ever took any DHEA. So I'm going to attribute those extra 2 to the DHEA. So now I got to get that other one back. That's kind of what's going on. And then one of you lovely ladies, subscribers, I can't remember your name right now. I'll put it here. Asked me about intermittent fasting and water fasting. So I haven't done water fasting because my life is crazy and I understand that you need to be like at rest. And let's be honest, the only time I'm at rest is when I'm in the bed asleep. But I have done intermittent fasting and I did it last time this year when I was doing my first round of IVF. It's amazing for the body overall. It gave me such mental clarity. It creates this thing in the body, or it helps support this thing in the body called autophagy, where it's getting rid of, let's just say like you have old cells and they're kind of like tumbleweeds. And I just imagine like the old Westerns. If I can find the musical clip, I'll play it right now. But it's like the old Westerns and the tumbleweeds are going. Basically, when you have autophagy, it's literally like eating oneself. So the cells are eating themselves. So like kind of the old cells that are there, the tumbleweeds that are in our system, are being blown away when you're doing intermittent fasting. You get a lot of mental clarity from it for sure, and I'm always about the mental clarity. But 1, it'll help me get my BMI down. 2, it's going to have the autophagy and get rid of any old cells that are there that might be taking up nutrients that they're not able to fully utilize because they're just old. And so let's just get rid of them. So the intermittent fasting, I'm definitely going to do that again. I'm going to come home from my weekend spot early and do my meal prep. I will post that on my other channel. I have 30 days. So 30 days, we're going to get it in. My intermittent fasting, it will be 12 to 8 will be my feeding window, which I always feel like I sound like a pet in a zoo when I say that, but it is what it is. 12 to 8. And then I will do a 48-hour fast Wednesday, Thursday. So no food, only water, which is kind of like water fasting, but it's like a really light water fast. And then exercising. So I'll do my exercising within the fast, the first day of the 48-hour no food fast. That first day I'll exercise, and the second day I won't, just because I won't have as many resources. But that is also good for the metabolism and lots of other things. And it has a lot of the same benefits as if you're on a keto diet, because it's putting your body into a ketogenic state. You're not doing it with food. You're doing it with how you're consuming your food. I don't want to bore you all if you're not interested in intermittent fasting. I'm going to put it on the other channel, Simply Tanika 2, which is probably going to be renamed. I just have to think of a name. Oh, that reminds me. This channel is about to be 2 years old, so that means the other one's about to be 1 year old. It's a very neglected 1 year old because I have not updated it, but I'm going to get on that. So yeah, that's kind of, those are my thoughts. Last year I was really good about writing down goals and staying focused, and I think that's what I need to do. And I'm prepared to do that now mentally. When I made Applejack, I was in that frame of mind. I'm ready to get back in that frame of mind, having those goals, knocking it out, and just helping keep me focused. Like I'm just a highly driven, highly motivated person, and that helps me feel good. So I have a plan. And oh my God, I sound like Elizabeth Warden. I didn't mean to make fun of Miss Warren, but I seriously, I'm a woman who needs a plan. I need some goals. I need to check off boxes, and I have a plan to do that. So that is what we're gonna do, because we gotta do what? Let's get those babies, ladies. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you later. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Bye. Mwah. Baby dust to us all.
Let's say in Tanika, we can change this any moment. You know, when you come here after the no, hold on.
Ovulation. So today's cycle day 1. So I'm gonna come in for day 21 blood testing.
Yeah. I actually the proposal for this cycle is 250 plus 150.
So 250 gonal F and 150 menopur.
Correct.
Okay, and you're saying menopur is half FSH and half LH anyway.
So that's so in reality you are taking around 400 units of FSH.
Okay.
That's plenty. But also, you know, when you come after the S-trace and we do the basal before we start, we can readjust it, because if let's say we see only one little tiny follicle, we don't want to use too much of a dose. Let's say we see 2 or 3 antral follicles. Maybe we change this.